Thanks for coming along. Just a bit about myself. I'm Craig. I'm from Glasgow. I've been in the SEO industry for 15, 16 years now, and started out as a freelancer in my bedroom, pissing in the wind the same as everyone else, and I built up my own digital agency, and I've changed direction since then. I do training and consultancy now, because similar to what Andrew said at the start, those stress levels that, you know, once you get to the 5 or the 8 year period or whatever it was, hundreds of clients, not a lot of profit, whole load of stress and staff and all that stuff, it wasn't for me. So I revised my way of working, which is obviously each to their own. Agencies are for some people, dealing with clients are for some people. It's not for me. There's plenty of ways when you're an experienced SEO you can make money. So I went down a different route. I do speak at a lot of events. Brighton SEO I'll be speaking at in April 2018. Get used to that one. Spoke at SMX Milan in November. I regularly speak on SEMrush. I'm a host and feature in a lot of their webinars, and talk at a lot of other events as well, just trying to pass on some knowledge to people. So my SEO career, you know, everyone looks at people and goes, why should I believe this guy? You know, it could just be another dud SEO. There's millions of them out there who've read a book. So I done a year in-house training with a company, thought I was really good at it, which I probably wasn't. I really didn't know anything more than on page, but went out as a freelancer, started charging people money, and started to learn. Then I started to build up my own agency, and that's when the real learning curve comes. You know, you're dealing with, you know, things that are out with your remit, like, you know, the stuff you're talking about, user experience and stuff like that. So you're learning the whole works. And now 4 years, the past 4 years, I've probably been doing what I've been doing, which is training agencies, individuals who want to make money or whatever, you know, just passing on the knowledge and the mistakes that I've made over the years. So agency life wasn't for me. You know, I won awards for being an agency. You'll see my name somewhere about there. 2014, it wasn't that long ago, winning awards, Business Leader of the Year. But as I say, I had 17 staff at one point. The you know, staff are not reliable. They're not skillful enough, and you know, they let you down or want to run away and start up their own business. So agency life, for one reason or another, wasn't for me. But you know, the main question out of everything to do with SEO. So I've been there, done the agency life, I've done a freelancer, I've done training events and stuff like that. So I would hope that I would be a credible guy to listen to. So there's a big debate in SEO, and you'll always hear people saying white hat SEO, black hat SEO, and you know, what does that actually mean? So I'll give you, you know, 20 odd minutes of what that actually means for me and how I've went about over the years learning what I've learned, what tools I use, and what hat that I claim to wear. So what is white hat SEO? You know, the people out there claim that it's ethical SEO. You know, you would need a huge budget to do white hat SEO. You know, big brands do it. They've got brand awareness. They're getting featured in magazines, papers, all that kind of stuff, and all of that kind of stuff does help them, and it's you know, can be, you know, seen as white hat SEO. But you know, loads of us, or not loads of you guys, but loads of customers are one-man bands. They can't afford the PR team, and they can't afford this, that, and the next thing. So small budgets won't stretch that far, but can you still do a good job? Yes. It's the same as anything in life. You have to cut corners. You know, even you said something earlier, how do you do this stuff for free? Do you steal that or whatever? You know, ideally that's not ethical to do what you said there, you know, if you want to go by a code of ethics. But you know, if you've got no budget, then you've no option. So you do what you have to do. So that's what white hat is, as far as I'm concerned. You know, it's a load of nonsense as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't really exist. Anyone who thinks people are going to link to them naturally because they've got amazing videos or amazing content are probably just dreamers, because every SEO in here will be writing blogs, articles, trying to put them out on their social media. No one really cares what you're writing, to be fair. It's you know, no one's going to link to it and stuff like that. So there has to be manipulation that goes on behind that. So what not to do though is black hat SEO. There's a lot of people that call themselves a black hat SEO, where they'll spam everything, they'll use automation, they'll go onto Fiverr to buy links, use spun content, just copy and paste stuff, and absolutely just rip off everything that there is online, and that stuff will get you banned by Google. There is something in the middle that they don't really tell. So when you hear of white hat SEOs talking, they'll say, I'm this and I'm ethical. I had an argument with Dixon Jones, as a guy who owns Majestic SEO, and his argument to me was, he's a big he's retired now, but Dixon Jones, was the managing, I don't know what he was, but what is he? He doesn't own it, does he, Majestic? He's one of the head honchos anyway, and he went, we talk at 20 conferences a year, we get links from this, this and this, and they spend probably $500,000 a year on marketing or whatever, and that's all good and well. They're getting all the links from all the conferences, everyone's linking to them in SEO blogs and stuff, and he claims he's white hat and there's no tricks have to be played, and yes, he's right, he doesn't have to play any tricks, but we don't all have £500,000 budgets, so he would determine a guy like me, black hat SEO, but I don't go out and do all the trash of the day either. That's what you would find on Fiverr or some lowlife that's starting out in the game that uses automation. GSA's one, Scrapebox. There's tons of spamming tools out there, and that's what I would call a black hat SEO. What I would determine a successful SEO would be someone who's interested in a return on investment or a money hat or what you want. You have to make money online regardless of how you do it. If you have to trample in someone's head, then you have to trample in someone's head to make money. It's the bottom line. So it's silly to label yourself as white or black hat. One of Google's, and Google have admitted this, you can Google it, one of the main ranking signals is link building. But what they tell you in their terms of service is that building one link can get you banned. So it kind of contradicts itself, but they look for links as part of a kind of ranking signal, along with a whole heap of other stuff. So there's a difference of being clever and being spammy, and you have to basically feed the search engines what they want. A lot of people out there think Google are that clever that they can watch everything, they can hear you, the whole lot. Google are not that clever, they really aren't, and anyone who thinks they are, by all means go and test it and prove me wrong. But the best SEO approach is to use a wide range of link building strategies, do local citations, do outreach, do guest blog posts, use private blog networks, which I'll go into in a minute, get featured in expert roundups, appear in webinars, and continue to learn new strategies and build relationships with other people. Like Tom over there, who I work with, is a local guy in Northampton. Well, it's not that local, but just by networking, Tom, do you want me, I've got links on your website, you've got links in my website. You have to talk to other people, and how do we fit that in? We do a guest blog post or an interview or whatever it might be. It's a link at the end of the day. So you have to build relationships with other people within the industry, because going out and getting crappy directory links and stuff like that just doesn't cut the mustard when you want to rank for nationwide stuff. It might work well for you if you want to do some local SEO. Using black hat techniques, as I said, using automated tools, low quality freelancers, guys that will say I'll get you 100 links for a $5, all that kind of stuff. Avoid them like the plague. They're going out there saying social bookmarking still works. It doesn't. It died 2011 or whatever. And being put on loads of directories was once a good thing in 2007, until every Tom, Dick and Harry rammed every other website on it, and Google have to go, what's the point? I can't take this stuff serious. I don't know what's good, what's bad. So that's where they now look at relevancy and stuff like that. So don't use black hat techniques. They will get you banned, but you have to be somewhere in the middle. A lot of people will also chase domain metrics. So you've got Majestic, for example, who give out trust flow and citation flow. You've got Moz, who give out page authority. These are not Google. They are third-party tools who give you a rough guide as to what power your domain name's got. And it is good to use that as a guide. I'd be a liar to say I didn't use it, but people obsessed going, that trust flow's crap. I've got a trust flow of 7 or whatever. I'm doing really bad on there. You can still get good rankings with a fairly low trust flow, to be fair. And I showed that to you today, Tom. So that's, don't always chase domain metrics. Don't always believe Google either. Google do lie. They're not as clever as they make out to be. And as I said, you have to feed Google what it wants. Everyone knows site speed's important, click-through rate's important, links are important, unique content important. on all your kind of on-page SEO is important, your title tags and all internal linking and all that kind of stuff is really important. You have to get all of those elements in place. But as I say, don't always believe what Google say. A lot of people turn around and go, you know, I speak at events, people go, that guy's talking crap, you know, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Because Matt Cutts said in 2011 that, you know, whatever it might be. So an example of some bullshit from Google is Gary Ilyes works for Google, and Christoph Semper owns a tool called Link Research Tools. These guys were at Brighton SEO in September, and Gary from Google said to Christoph, who owns a tool that does disavow, obviously if you've got spammy links you need to disavow them. He said, Christoph, we hate the fact that you're highlighting this disavow tool. You're causing problems for Google. We commend what you're doing, but Google think you're a pain in the arse for telling everyone to disavow bad links. And a month later, Google released this statement saying, you don't have to do a disavow unless you get manual action taken against you, which as far as I'm concerned, through my testing, is complete and utter bullshit. And it still is. You know, people have tried and tested it. Christoph Semper called them out on Facebook saying, what the hell, you told me this last month, yet you're saying now you don't have to do it unless you get a manual action taken against you. So you have to follow what works, trying and testing stuff, believing what people say, and that's where networking and stuff's important as well. Like Tom and Milos sitting over there are guys that I work with. They guys go away and try something and it might go wrong or tits up, but you know, we're learning from each other, and that's where it's important to learn from each other. Same with you guys. You know, we might say, you know, that we tried this and that was shit, you know, and then that's in your head, and then the next time you're talking to a client you can try and avoid that or whatever. So it's always just about constantly evolving. Don't always follow what Google or, you know, other people for that matter say. That, you know, there's loads of bloggers. Barry Schwartz, as I said up there, you know, Barry Schwartz is a well-known guy that just says anything that Google says, and everyone thinks he's his guru. Everything that Google released, Barry Schwartz is on it, and you know, he's been doing it for years, and you know, that's his job. He just pushes out what Google's saying, and you know, the kind of 80% of the world out there will love Barry Schwartz for that, purely because they think he's right, but those 80% of people don't rank that well because they're following what he says. So, so a story before I go into some of the tools. I was talking in Milan in November, and I met a guy called Peter van de Graaf, and he doesn't call himself an SEO anymore. He calls himself an opinion sculptor, or opinion sculpting. That's the service that he provides. This guy was actually involved in the US elections for Donald Trump, putting out fake news, all that kind of stuff. So can you actually believe what you read online? Even if you were to Google, how do you do this or how do you do that? Everything that's on page one in Google has been manipulated. You can't trust it. You know, I could put a blog post up there saying, you know, playing with some of the toys helps your website rank in Google, and someone might believe it or whatever. You know, it doesn't, you know, because I said it doesn't mean it's actually true. So Peter worked for Donald Trump. All they done was build PBNs and put out fake news and stuff to change people's opinions and vote for Donald Trump. You know, he was given a £20 million budget to do that over a 4-year period, and or whatever it was. I don't know how long Trump was, whatever the period was. He was given 20 million quid to build PBNs and form people's opinions, because people do go onto Google and go, should I vote for Donald Trump? Because there's so many people that sit there. It wasn't Donald Trump himself who paid for that. It was the lobby groups and stuff like that that did pay for this stuff. So Peter's obviously a very interesting guy. We met in Milan. He's now allowed to release this story because he's, you know, it's done and dusted. So can you believe what you see online? Absolutely not. You know, everything is manipulated. And as I say, you know, it's lobby groups, US elections, people do research and then they form opinions and think that Donald Trump's the best guy to vote for. But we'll go back to ranking websites. So this is a website. I want to just show you some examples. So can I rank a website? You know, you might have formed an opinion that this guy's just going to talk crap and he can't rank a website. Here's just an example of a new e-commerce store, you know, that turns over, you can't really read it there, but it's something like £646,000 a year, purely through online sales. In the past month, in fact, that says 96,000. That was from 13th of December to the 13th of January, which is when I done my slides. 100 grand a month they're doing online. So obviously I've got the ability to rank sites, and some of the tools that I'm now going to show you will, I'll show you some of the kind of black hat stuff that I do. That's their overall stuff for a year. £646,000 and one of their first year. I think they're about 18 months old, all online sales, constant growth, and that's what would form a good SEO campaign. This is another client, so another example of good SEO, which is the one I showed you today, Tom, the traffic boner, as a lot of people call it. This guy started in September 2017, was having 500 visits a month or whatever. He's now up over 7,000 hits a month after a 3-month period. He gets 10 times more sales, so SEO can be effective, still works very well to this day. And then, how did I get that to happen? Tom said it today, what the effing hell did you do there? Did you have to build him a new website? No, the website was good, it had a good user experience, had all the right buttons in the right place, and all of that kind of stuff that the guy said earlier is really important, because clients are not the cleverest of people. It's sad to say that, they can't find the button, or they add to cart and then don't know how to go and then process the payment or whatever, because the buttons are not in their face, or as you guys said, the ribbon along the bottom or whatever. So over and above that, I wouldn't be expected to do a job. I'm not a web designer. I hate web design. I would expect when someone wants to use my services that they do have all of those boxes ticked. It's not something I want to sit and get involved in. But private blog networks, how many of you guys have heard of private blog networks? Some of you might hate them, love them, whatever. I'll show you how I work them and how they work for me. So as I say, link building is one of Google's main ranking signals. As I say, terms and conditions also say that building one link can get you banned. I believe that to be scare tactics, but also believe that PBN might not be the right word to use for it as well. Everyone just associates a PBN as a website that someone's bought an expired domain name, chucked up a website, and use it to manipulate the search engines. And yes, that is the kind of general way it works, but there's a bit more to it than that. So what people do, or what not to do, is buy an expired domain name, stick it on a shared server, which has all got one IP address. If you buy a reseller account, stick 50 domain names on it, and then start linking out to your main website, you're leaving a massive footprint, and it's going to get you banned. That's crazy, and not what we're trying to promote here. There are tools out there like gopbn.com, for example, which is a hosting company made by a guy who believes in PBNs, which you can have multiple CMSs on it, WordPress, and all the kind of other standard ones that are out there. And what this does is it ties in with loads of other hosting companies, so that every time you put a website on there, it gives you like a 123reg account or whatever, from this one dashboard, so that you're not all your websites are not stacked on the same server with the same IP address, and it avoids any footprints. You can also change your server locations, so if you want to build a PBN targeting the American audience, then you can have GoPBN give you just American servers, so you can dictate what servers go on there as part of your PBN. That's what the dashboard looks like. As I say, you've got, you get to select your domain name, WordPress, London, and that's it. You can pick whether it's London, you can pick it, Romania, whatever you're trying to target, you can use that. And what this tool does, it's an all-in-one tool, because previously what someone like me had to do was have hundreds of different hosting accounts, all under fake names and all that kind of stuff to avoid footprints, and that's just a massive amount of stress. So in this day and age, people are building tools to make this a bit easier, and gopbn.com is one of those tools. The job with a real PBN, and a lot of people will say, PBNs cost money and all that kind of stuff. If your PBN does not return you money, you're doing it wrong. As far as I'm concerned, every single PBN should make you money, whether it's through affiliate marketing, whether it's through AdSense, or whether you rent that website out because it ranks really well. You can have a client's, a client's details on it. The way that I started my PBN was years ago, when exact match domain names used to rank really well. All you had to do was buy Builders in Cambridge or Builders Cambridge, slap a one-page website on it, and you were guaranteed page one, position one, without even building a link. Content alone would rank you. And what I used to do back in the day was rather than go to people saying, I'm a good SEO, I might be able to rank you over a 3 or 4 month period, I ranked the website first and then went to people saying, do you want your logos and stuff on there? Give me 200 quid and we'll get, you know, logos on there and whatever. And that's something I still do to this day, is still have a lot of guys that rank really well and just rent the websites out to them rather than them taking a risk in an SEO, because I'm sure, you know, most of you have heard horror stories where people are getting turned over for tens of thousands of pounds and SEOs have not lifted a finger. So that's how I started mine. You know, a real PBN's got to be a real website with real traffic, real rankings, no mad footprints where they all interlink with each other. They're all registered under my own personal name, and they've got to be regularly updated. You can't just put up a website and just leave it. Every PBN has to be a real website that makes money and does regularly get updated. And I don't mean adding 5 blog posts a week or whatever. Whether it's 1 a month or 2 a month or whatever you would normally do with your own website would be perfectly fine. So the job with a PBN is to work smart, do it properly, and don't always think of the low kind of cost options, because otherwise you are going to start to leave footprints. They don't think cheap part there. People will always go, I'm going to build a PBN, that all sounds really good, but I'm going to whack it all on a shared server because I can't afford to pay for a couple of different accounts, or I can't afford Go PBN or whatever. And it's a massive mistake to make. That's where you start to get penalised and stuff like that by the search engines. So there's other tips and tools here. To buy an expired domain name, you can use tools like expireddomains.net, where you can go on there and see all the domain names that are expiring, how many backlinks they've got and how much power they've got, and then jump in and grab it for 5 quid or whatever the cost of a domain name is these days. It's also important, before you buy an expired domain name, do your research. Use Majestic or whatever to see if the domain name does have power. You can also go onto the Wayback Machine, see what was on there previously, make sure it was a real website, and stuff like that, because what you don't want to do is buy a piece of garbage. It's, you know, it's just a waste of time. So do your research, and there are tools there like domrecovery.com. So at the push of a button, you can take a website from the Wayback Machine and chuck it up onto your website. So you can basically take, so say it's a local letting agent in Cambridge, you can take that domain name, use DOM Recovery and put it back up within minutes, and that's you get a PBN. You've obviously got to take the letting agents, maybe their number down or the logo or whatever, and just put something basic on there. But that tool, it's a one-off fee, and you know, you can just get websites from the Wayback Machine and use that as part of your PBN strategy. You can also use Domain Hunter Gatherer, which is a paid tool. You can also buy domains from auction websites like GoDaddy and many of the other ones. And you don't have to use GoPBN. You can just mix up your hosting accounts with 123edge, VidaHost, or anything like that. Just make sure that everything is all mixed up. DOM Recovery, as I say, grabs all the content, including the CSS, JavaScript, everything. 97 quid, one-off fee, and that whacks a website up there. So it's quite a good and quick way to quickly build a PBN. Domain Hunter Gatherer, that can obviously find expired domain names for you. It uses Majestic and Moz APIs to give you the kind of domain metrics of the domain names you're looking at, and it can also scrape for expired Web 2.0s. Web 2.0s are not a great link building tactic anymore because, again, people ripped the backside out of that, and it's you know, dead really. But you know, Domain Hunter Gatherer can find, there might be a wee gem in there somewhere. Website hosting, as I say, the most important part for this, and I can't stress it enough, is use multiple web hosts, use different locations and different IP addresses to stay under the radar. Avoiding the footprints is vital. So you've obviously got to vary your who is data as well. Use different templates on different websites. If you do choose not to use DOM Recovery, and you're going to use WordPress or whatever, don't keep using the same template, because everyone else building that uses the same templates, you know, the on-fold template or whatever it might be. And again, that's a footprint in itself. If all your websites are all using on-fold and all linking to the same websites, you're leaving a massive footprint. You also want to vary your plugins and stuff as well. So people out there will use all-in-one SEO or Yoast or whatever. You know, it's probably 50-50. You want to mix that up in your PBNs. You don't want to have them all using the 10 plugins that you use, whether it's all-in-one SEO, Google XML sitemaps, Contact Form 7 or whatever. Just mix it all up just to, again, avoid footprints. So what other stuff goes on out there to help you along with buying your PBNs? There's a nice tool called Browseo. Has anyone ever heard of this? Now what this tool does is allows you to set up loads of fake personas, which is quite a cool tool for a number of different reasons. You can use your brain to work out how this can fit into your strategy best. But what it can do is set up loads of fake profiles, like, you know, Adam Smith or whatever the names are, and you can buy your domains and host them through this. So every time you log in, a fake persona, you could go and do Adam Smith, he owns all these domain names, or you know, these 5 domain names. Then you can go into the next persona, and you know, Mary Jones or whatever, buy some domain names, and it just keeps you from avoiding that footprint. But the cool part about Browseo as well is it works with iMacross scripts, so you can do loads of stuff on there, like giving people Google reviews, fake reviews, and all that kind of stuff, which is common practice. Anyone who believes that doesn't happen has to be off their head. You know, everyone's doing it. Fake Google reviews, you know, fake social signals, all of that kind of stuff happens. So, for example, that's one of my fake personas there. Adam Howard, just a fake guy, retweets stuff, tweets stuff. He's got 2,500 followers. He's as fake as they come. But, you know, if he's sharing stuff and saying Craig's the best guy, blah, 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 or you know, giving people Google reviews, you know, there's loads of different ways you can use that to kind of help your strategy as well. So how did I get 2,500 reviews with that? So there's another tool called Mass Planner. Now this tool's amazing. Everyone loves this. It's not available for anyone to buy. If anyone does like what they see here, you can come up to me. If I'm busy talking to someone, then Tom and Milos can help you get it out as well. They too work with us, so they can, you know, approach them and we can get you hooked up with this. It's still available to get as long as you know someone. Now, Instagram tried to get this tool taken down, but a lot of people will say to me, how have you got such a massive following? I think you've also asked me that as well. How do you get such a massive following? I think I've got 40,000 people following me in LinkedIn. I've got 300,000 on Twitter. And whatever on Facebook, so God knows. But obviously speaking at events and stuff like that do help you get that, but not 300,000. You know, I'm not David Beckham or whatever, you know, or whatever. But, you know, how does that work? So for me, there's a lot of social media people out there who sell a lot of garbage. You know, they'll sell social media, they'll just post and post and post a whole lot of crap and just annoy people. The most important part of social media is building a real audience. Everyone can go to Fiverr and buy 5,000 fake followers. It's all eggheads. No one's going to be there. So anything you post to them, no one's going to buy from you. So what this Mass Planner does is it builds a real following for you. It works on all social platforms, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Google Plus, and all the other kind of stuff that's out there. And it works 24/7, 365 days a year. So what it does, as I say, that's all the kind of stuff it does. You need proxies to use it though. Does everyone know what a proxy is? No? Right, so a proxy basically, so if you've got multiple accounts, you don't want them all running from your one computer, which is one IP address. Again, it looks very spammy. You can buy proxies, so if, say you've got 30 fake personas, you probably want to have 30 proxies to do all your kind of automation, which costs you $50, but again, it's well worth doing. If you've got all these fake personas, I'm sure you'll be making a lot of money. But what this Mass Planner actually does is you can follow people. So say all of you guys are all digital marketing experts in here. I could go into my Mass Planner and say, anyone who follows everyone in here, I want to follow them. And my tool will automatically start following all of your followers because they're probably likely to be interested in what I've got to say. And you can do that with, you know, SEMrush or any other kind of SEO tool. And people will automatically start following you back. The tool can then unfollow them if you don't follow them back. So you can adjust this all in the settings. It's very simple and easy to use. You can follow people based on keyword. You can favorite people's stuff on autopilot. You can retweet people's stuff on autopilot. You can actually direct message them on autopilot, so you'll obviously see it yourself if you've got Twitter. People say, oh, you know, thanks for following me or whatever, and you're going, Jesus Christ, that guy's on the ball. You know, they're using automation there. And this stuff just works 24/7 based on your settings. Whatever message you want to put out to these people, it will work for you. And obviously, as I say, the most important part is the follow and the unfollow part. This will follow. So everyone who follows Andrew, for example, is likely to want to listen to what I've got to say, though, because we're in the similar industry. So I just set mine on yours. Follow everyone who follows Andrew. Some of these people will follow me back, and then I'll move on for you. You're in the bin. Move on to someone else, and then once I've used and abused you, move on to the next guy, and the next guy, and the next guy. So you can set all of this up. And as I say, it builds you up a real following, and then what you actually do put out there actually gets out in front of real people, and it can obviously turn into visitors to your website, and hopefully they'll buy your product or services or whatever the hell it is you're trying to sell. So as I say, PBN websites though, the web design, use different templates, different plugins, unique content. Every PBN though has its own social presence as well, because if someone I don't know if that's a Scottish word, but if someone is grassing you up, so if someone grasses you up and says that's a PBN there, and Google manually go and check that, and they see that Adam Howard owns it, and he's got all these retweets and 3,000 followers, they can't determine whether that's a fake or not. So again, using automation to kind of cover your tracks is a key part, but as I say, it's not all about just covering your tracks. It can build you up massive audiences, and you can retweet your own stuff and make yourself look semi-famous. I do that sometimes, so it's always got to be done. Can you use, so some PBN common questions, can I use spun content? Absolutely not. Spinning content on your PBNs doesn't work. How long before you link to the money site or money sites that you've got? People normally throw up a PBN and they'll not link for 30 or 40 days, just again to make sure that you don't look spammy or whatever. Just throw it up, put the content up, don't really do anything else. I just put them up and just leave it for, you know, maybe even 60 days because I'm quite lazy. But and then can you sell links in your PBNs? Yes, you can sell links in your PBNs if you want to make money that way, but it's a surefire way to get yourself banned very quickly, because there's guys out there who sell links and they've put all this effort into getting all this power, and then they just sell it to every Tom, Dick and Harry and tell everyone where it is, and Google will just ban them. That's it. They have a wee fallout with someone sticks them in and they're gone. How many links go on my PBNs? Probably 10, 15, something like that. I don't have a PBN that's got 100,000 links on it. Again, that's a footprint and you get banned. You just link out to your clients or whatever. You know, if Milo says to me, go and link to this, go and link to that, yeah, I'll help him, you know, pay me and I'll help you. And that's it. You can make money that way, but, you know, Milos hasn't got a clue where they go, what they do. He's just got to base his decision on me, on results. And that's it. You know, job done. He's happy, I'm happy. No one can get grassed in. So you need to be careful with what you're telling people about your PBNs as well. And do you need to build links to your PBNs? Yes, obviously treat your PBNs like a real website. Do get citations, do get links from other people, and treat them like a real website. How to manage and monitor your PBN. Obviously, if you're doing it on a large scale, like 100 websites or more, you're going to have to monitor the uptime, rank tracking, domain metrics, all of that stuff. And again, there's another tool there called serpt.net, which has 45 other tools integrated with it. Rank tracking, expired domain. What else does it do, Tom? In fact, I've got it here. It's got backlinks explorer, long tail keyword finder. It's got site auditing tools, citation scanner, goal tracking. You can back up your website from it. So to manage 100 websites is a lot of work. So again, a tool like that is key if you've got a big PBN. If it's only 5 websites, then you don't need it. You know, you just check your 5 websites manually every day. But if you're going to do it at scale, then serpt.net is a very good tool. As I say, feed Google what it wants. Domain metrics is a good way to figure out whether a domain name has any kind of power and relevance. The most important part for Google is, if Milos is an accountant, for example, he's not, but if he was an accountant, he needs financial related links. He doesn't need one from a web designer. It's not relevant. It's not really going to carry as much power. He needs as many accountants or any kind of finance or forex trading guys or whatever pointing to him so that he's seen as an authority. So it's got to be relevant. Use your PBN as part of your bargaining tools as well. So I could go to someone, again, I'm going to use Milos as an example, and say, I want a link to Milos' website, and I'm going to say, well, what are you going to offer me? If I've got a PBN, I've got 10 other accounting websites. I can link back from any one of them, so you can use them as a bargaining tool to exchange links with other kind of website owners. And you also want to keep your PBN a secret. Never report that stuff to any client. You can if you want, but I think you'd be shooting yourself in the foot. As I say, never sell links. Treat your PBNs well, and it will give you a hell of a lot of link building power, which is exactly all I've done for the blind company who shot up like that over a 3-month period, and they went from 500 hits a month to just under 8,000 just now, and that's continually grown month on month, and you know, hopefully they'll get to 50,000 or whatever the limit is. As I say, I never report on backlinks. No SEO out there. You know, you had Milos again used a guy called Finn from some dodgy forum, and he did report on his backlinks, but they're all absolutely horrendous. Any SEO worth his salt is not going to report on that stuff. The job is, SEO is a service, and the job is to rank websites, get more traffic and get conversions, and that's what you really should be reporting on. And that's what really, you know, agencies that claim to be white hat SEO outsource the link building anyway, and the chances are some scumbag will be doing a PBN, but probably very badly. So client demands, clients want to know too much. The part here, building PBNs, I can say to a client now, because of my track record, I can show anyone analytics, I can show them anything. I just say to people now, I can't be bothered reporting to you, I don't want to listen to all your crap. They want to know too much, so I can just say to people now, we can give you a bit of education, just base me on this, or we can give you training. That's it. We're not here to sit and sell our souls to the devil or jump through hoops to justify what we do. PBNs, as I say, is a very real thing that works very well for me, and ranking for keywords is our main target. And if you rank for keywords, then you're going to get traffic and you're going to get sales, no matter what way you want to look at it. So that's it. Beer break for me. If you guys want to ask me any questions or know anything about the tools or whatever, you can get me on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. You can email me, or Milos and Tom are there as well if I'm chatting to someone else later or whatever. But if you want to know anything about the tools, then we can, if there's anything that tickled your fancy, then fair enough. But that's my contact details there. And that's me, so.